Hello everyone, thank you for visiting Dr. Guyan Wellness channel. Today we are going to discover our human skeletal systems. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. The human skeletal system is an intricate framework of bones, cartilage, and ligaments that provide support, protection, and structure to the body. Here's a detailed overview from head to toe. First, we are talking about the skull. The human skull is a complex structure comprised of bones that encase and protect the brain, support sensory organs, and provide attachment points for muscles involved in facial expressions and chewing. It is formed through a process called ossification, where connective tissues gradually harden into bone during fetal development and childhood. It consists of the cranium, which surrounds the brain, and the facial bones, which form the face. The skull also houses the eyes, ears, and nasal passages. Let's explore into the formation and functions of the human skull. Now let's talk about fetal development. The skull begins as soft, membranous structures made of fibrous connective tissue during fetal development. These structures, known as cranial bones, gradually ossify, harden, through a process called intramembranous ossification. The fontanelles. At birth, the skull is not fully formed, and there are soft spots called fontanelles where the cranial bones have not yet fused. These fontanelles allow for some flexibility during childbirth and provide room for the developing brain. Over time, the fontanelles close as the cranial bones grow and fuse together. The cranial bones. In the adult human skull consists of 22 bones, including the cranial bones that form the cranium, the portion surrounding the brain, and the facial bones that make up the face. Now let's see what the functions of the skull are. First function of the skull is to protect the brain. The primary function of the skull is to protect the brain from injury. The cranial bones provide a sturdy, protective casing that shields the delicate brain tissue from external trauma. Next function of the skull is to support for sensory organs. The skull houses and supports the sensory organs of vision, hearing, taste, and smell. For example, the eye sockets, orbits, protect the eyes, while the auditory ossicles in the middle ear transmit sound vibrations to the inner ear for hearing. The skull is also the side for muscles to attachment. The skull provides attachment points for muscles involved in facial expressions, chewing, and head movements. Muscles such as the temporalis, masseter, and facial muscles attach to various points on the skull and allow for movements like smiling, chewing, and talking. Okay, everyone, remember, the skull also assistances of brain function. The skull also plays a role in maintaining optimal conditions for brain function. It helps regulate intracranial pressure by containing cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, and blood vessels that supply nutrients and oxygen to the brain. More than the protection of the brain, the skull also aesthetics and identity for a human expression. The shape and features of the skull contribute to individual facial characteristics and overall appearance, which are important for recognition, communication, and social interaction. Overall, we should remember that the human skull is a remarkable structure that provides vital protection for the brain, support for sensory organs, attachment points for muscles, and contributes to facial aesthetics and identity. Its formation during fetal development and childhood and its multifaceted functions highlight its essential role in human anatomy and physiology.